Hi guys. Um wow, this is my first time making a video like this. I don't even know where to begin, to be honest, but I just had this um conviction in my heart to make this video for those that are struggling, whatever it may be. Um I just wanted to share my life story with you guys, and I hope that it can somehow touch your heart or encourage you or inspire you. Um, but sorry if I cough in the middle of this video because have been sick for a while now. Um, so the reason why I'm making this video is because um, I just wanted to start off with, I know everyone's been like going crazy about the whole um, the Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gianna passing away this past Sunday. Um, it just made me think about life and how your life can just be taken away just like that. And it's just so crazy to me because they were both such good people with such good hearts. And to be honest, I'm not a basketball fan. I never really was a sports fan, but I did know about Kobe Bryant, and his and that he's a legend, obviously. But um, I I was just reflecting today and yesterday about just death and life and how it's you should people should be grateful for the people that they have in their life, even though whatever kind of situation you may be in. um, I want to encourage those people that feel lonely, that feel like they have nobody to talk to, or they feel like nobody can understand what they're going through, and that's what makes them just close their mouths off from people. And I totally get that because I'm that way. I'm not really good at sharing and opening up to people about what I go through because it's just I'm not surrounded by people that are going through the same thing as me. And so it's been really hard for the past 4 years actually. So I was diagnosed with a rare bone cancer when I was 17 years old, after I graduated. So um, I was diagnosed at the end of 2016, and that was after I graduated from high school, actually. And um, I was having some kind of pain. I was having pain in my right groin area, and it was like a very sharp pain that I was going through for a couple months. And I kept trying to ignore it because I thought that it would go away. But my mom, she kept telling me to um, go to the hospital and check this out because it could be something more serious. And so I went, and um, um, at first the doctors, they didn't know what it was. I had an MRI scan, and nothing really came out, but they didn't know what it was. So they asked if I wanted to do a CT scan, and so I did that. I did a CT scan, and they found out that I had cancer around my right femur. And so um, finding that out was really, it was just my whole life just like went through my head when I found that out. But it was really hard for me to accept that I did have cancer because I mean no one would obviously know, like, would think that they would get cancer at such a young age. And so um, they scheduled me to do a right total hip replacement surgery. And so I was got diagnosed around the end of 2016, so that was around October, I believe. And I was my surgery was scheduled beginning of January 2017. So I had surgery the beginning of that year, and that was the first surgery that I've ever had in my life. And it was very, very painful, and I can't, I can't explain how difficult that was to go through, and the pain that I had to endure, and not being able to walk for months, and going from a wheelchair um, to a walker, and then to a cane. And I was finally able to walk by the end of maybe like towards the end of 2017, but I still had like a bit of a limp because obviously like it's not my bone, it's my I had a piece of metal in my leg, and it wasn't my body, part of my body. So um, that was that. And usually with people that have cancer, you get CT. You're scheduled for CT scans every 3 months, and I had Kaiser at the time, so I would get CT scans every 3 months. And actually, after the surgery, after that 3 month period, I got another CT scan, and um, found out that the cancer had actually spread to my lungs, and they're very small, like millimeter sized cancer cells. And this surgery, I just felt like didn't do anything. I mean, it did remove the cancer in my leg, but sorry for the coughing. Um, but I went to my doctor, and she told me that there was a very small percentage of those that have the cancer metastasize to your lungs. But usually, if your cancer metastasizes, it does go to the lungs first. That's where it usually ends up going. And so I found that out. And after that, my oncologist, she scheduled me to do chemotherapy for, I did about 3 cycles of that. And that was like words can't express how difficult the chemotherapy is. Chemotherapy is just horrifying. It's something that I would never wish my worst enemy on, because it's that bad. I can't explain the pain. And because when you go through chemotherapy, the side effects are you have a loss of appetite, and whenever you do try to eat things, you end up throwing it up. And I lost all my hair. um, I was weak. I felt fatigued all the time. I couldn't have my back straight, because my bones were so weak that they couldn't support my body on its own. And so I would always be kneeling down whenever I would walk around the house. And at the time, I was living in a 2-story house, and it was just really hard for me to. I couldn't even go up the stairs to my own room, and so we had a spare room downstairs, and so I had to move into that room, and so I stayed there for a while. And after doing the chemo, I found out that the chemo didn't do anything. That actually ended up growing a little bit. So my mom and I decided to just stop doing chemo. And so ever since then, I feel like I was a bit traumatized by it, to be honest. So whenever my oncologist would suggest chemo again, I would always refuse because I just didn't want to go through that anymore. Um, and at the time, I didn't know anything about like alternative treatments or holistic treatments. I didn't know anything, so that's why and my mom didn't know either, so that's why we went through the conventional route. And so that I did that chemo, like that was the mid 2017 during that summer. And so after the chemo, after I had done the chemotherapy treatment, um, there was only one time that my cancer had actually shrunk, but that was after the chemotherapy. I went to Big Bear with my mom, and we just stayed there for a couple days. We would go maybe like every weekend, a couple days, and just stay there, breathe in the fresh air, and get exercise. Um, try to eat healthy. And after that time, I did another CT scan and it shrunk. So I don't know why, um, or I don't know why the cancer cells had shrunk at that time. Um, I'm still confused about that, and I don't know why that happened. But my what I was thinking was like when I was going through the chemotherapy, I was drinking a. The only thing I craved was cold smoothies, like fruit smoothies, and so my mom would make like smoothies for me, and I would drink that. And it's fruit and it has sugar in it, so I was thinking maybe because cancer does feed off of sugar, maybe the smoothies were feeding the cancer cells in my body, and that's why the chemotherapy didn't work because my cancer cells were just growing because of the sugar that intake. And so that's just that's just what I assumed that happened. But ever since then, I didn't do any kind of treatment since 2017. And now, fast forward to now, actually, um, well, during that period after I did chemo, I just tried to live a normal life. I went to school. I got a job, and at the time I was okay because the cancer cells weren't that big. They were still around the millimeter size, but and every 3 months I would get the CT scans, and every time I would go, it would be a little bit more bigger than the last time. And so it would just go from millimeter to like 4 centimeters, and then it would just keep on growing. And I changed my hospital a lot, so I went through a lot of stress because of having to change hospitals and insurance and having to. I just hate talking to people like on for like Medi-Cal and like just insurance companies. Like I just don't like talking to them on the phone. I don't think anyone does, to be honest. It's just a pain to go through, and I don't know everything about insurance, so it was like I don't understand what you're saying. um, so I changed from Kaiser to I think I went to UCLA actually. That was a huge process to go through because my dad and people that he knew that went through cancer were saying like go to a really like a good hospital that knows about cancer and has the best doctors and everything. So I went there and I didn't stay there that long. I stayed there maybe like one maybe like 2 to 3 months, and there was nothing that really happened. Um, my oncologist just suggested to do chemotherapy, and the treatment is called ICE. I forgot what it stands for, but I know that it was a very aggressive type of chemotherapy treatment. And I at the time, and this was like not even that long ago. This was around last year, actually, like summer of last year, 2019. um, I just refused again to do the chemo. I just wanted some other kind of um, treatment that wasn't going to be painful or hard to endure. And I think maybe the best thing was maybe I should have tried that, because maybe it could have helped shrink the cancer cells. But I know that those kinds of treatments, they only treat the cancer, but it doesn't cure it. And so my dad and my mom would argue a lot. They're not on good terms. They're divorced, and my dad was wholly, he trusted the doctors and was like, whatever advice that you give, we'll take it. But for me, I was like in the middle fence. I didn't know, because my mom, she was more of like, your cancer is caused because of like the food that you ate growing up and like your environment. And so it was either take the alternative route and try to be healthy, or take the conventional route and do chemotherapy or radiation or surgery. And I definitely didn't want to go that route, so I went with my mom's route. And so I I was doing good for about 3 months. I was eating healthy, cutting out like carbs and sugar. And for the people that know me, I was pretty overweight when I was younger, and like not even that long ago, like 2 years ago, I was pretty overweight. And like a lot of people did notice like the weight loss, and that was due to the change in diet and everything. But um I was doing good, and then I ended up, it was just really hard for me to commit to that healthy lifestyle and just eating healthy and not being able to eat the foods that you want, especially at my age, where usually like kids are healthy at my age, and so they eat whatever they want and they don't think about the consequences. For me, I just wanted to be normal, and I wanted to eat whatever my friends would eat when we went out. And I think slowly eating all that food did end up affecting me like a lot. Um, and so I went to the ER a couple times, a lot actually. And um, I went because I found out that my cancer, actually, I want to tell you guys about the cancer state right now. It's not good. It went from my lungs, and now it's spread out in my entire body, and it's at the point where I can actually feel the cancer sticking out from under my skin. There's one on my neck, one on my left shoulder, one on my left lower breast, um, on my right thigh, on my finger. You can actually see there's a little bit of nail polish, but that's that's a cancer sticking out right there. And I did have it over here and like on my lip, but those shrink. I don't know why. It could have been because I found out, my mom found out about this treatment called Panicure C, and it's actually a dog like dewormer actually, and it was going crazy in Korea, and people found out about it like all over the world, and people are like starting to take that medicine. But recently, like I was taking that since um, October of 2019, and so now it's been about 4 months, 3.5 months or something like that. But my mom recently found out like that the Panicure C does not work for bone cancer, because the type of bone cancer that I have is called periosteal osteosarcoma, and it's a rare type of malignant bone cancer that usually people get it around the ages of like 16 to like 50 or something, or 30 or something like that. I forgot, but I caught it early. Um, and so after finding that out, that was very devastating for me to hear, because that was like my only hope that I had, that maybe medicine can actually cure me. Um, but I mean, I'm still in the process of taking it, but I just don't know if it will really entirely um, cure the all the cancer cells in my body. Um, Especially because the cancer is everywhere. It's in my organs. It's gonna take, I don't even know, maybe more than, it's gonna take years for the cancer to go away. So I would have to keep on taking it until I die. Um, and so currently now, I'm just at this state where I just feel really lost and I don't really know what route I should take. Um, I mean, I have been trying to eat healthy lately, and this coughing that I have, um, it was, at first it was a cold that I had, like last month. Sorry. And I had mucus in my throat, I had a fever, and whenever I would spit out the mucus, I would be coughing up like bloody mucus, so it would be like red, and I didn't know why it was like that at the time. But to me, now that I have the cough for, it's been over a month now, um, it's definitely the cancer growing in my body, in my lungs. And so I made an appointment last week to see my doctor, and I changed from UCLA to UCI. And so I'm just waiting for that appointment now. Um, but yeah, that's just kind of where I've been in life right now. And I had, I mean, I wasn't alone through this. I had people supporting me and praying for me. Um, but you know, it's hard because you do feel alone sometimes because I don't have anyone that I can relate with, that I'm surrounded by, and so it's just been a very lonely battle. But there's been good times and bad times. I am thankful for my friends, my close friends that are there for me, and for my boyfriend that has been there for me also recently, and he's been supporting me and loving me, and I've just been trying to just go out, but right now I just feel really weak. Like I walk a little bit, like less than 5 minutes, and I already feel so tired, and my heart starts to beat so fast, and I can't sleep at night because my heart is just beating so fast, and um, I have to sleep on my right side since the cancer is on my arm, my shoulder. And I have to sleep with two pillows to keep my neck upright, or else if I don't, then I just keep on coughing throughout the night and I can't sleep. And um, but yeah, throughout this whole life story that I gave you guys, I just want to encourage you guys that, or to not take life for granted, um, because life is so precious and you only get one life. And um, about the whole Kobe Bryant and Gianna passing away, it's just like she wanted to be like her dad. She looked up to him, and she wanted to play in the NBA, the women's NBA. And it saddens me so much that um, that she had these dreams, but she couldn't obtain those dreams because they passed away so suddenly on Sunday. Um, and I, in a way, I was just thinking about my own life, and I don't even have these goals or dreams or anything that I really am passionate about. Um, and so it makes me think why am I on this earth? Like, what is my purpose for living? Like, what do I want to do with my life? Even if I get cured from my cancer and a miracle happens, like, I was thinking, and it's just like, I don't have that fire within me yet. Not yet. Since I am still going through this, and it's been a very hard battle for these past 4 years. And yeah, those are my thoughts, and I just want to encourage you guys to appreciate what you have now, and to not think about the things that you don't have. Because for me, I would complain about wanting to go back to school and wanting a job and getting my own place, and just wanting to live an independent life, not having to live under my mom's roof. But I feel like I was taking life for granted, and was taking my mom for granted. But I'm so thankful for my mom, because she has been with me since the beginning, and she was the one that took care of me when I was going through so much pain. She was always by my side, and for that I'm just truly grateful for my mom. Um, and yeah, guys, like, love on the people, love on people just in general, because you don't know what they could be going through. Um, they could be going through much worse things. And I don't want to compare my story to other people's stories, because I know a lot of people go through worse things. And um, but yeah, just the whole message behind this video is just appreciate what you have now. Don't take life for granted. Love on those that love you, and also love on those that are hard to love, because I feel like those that are harder to love are the ones that are the most heartbroken, the ones that are the most broken. And there's a reason why they act a certain way, whether it be like, it could be really angry people or bitter people, um, or just depressed. And it could be very hard to love those type of people, but you get the most out of loving those people that need it. And so um yeah, um yeah, just don't take life for granted, guys. Life is so precious, and we have these talents that maybe some of you guys have discovered already, maybe some of you guys have not discovered already. um, but use those God-given talents. um, and I want to remind you guys that you guys are so loved. I really mean it. You guys are loved. You guys may not feel that way. Whatever you guys are going through, loneliness, depression, a loss of a loved one, some kind of illness, just know that you guys are loved dearly, and that even though you may not be a huge star like Kobe Bryant and his daughter, um, you can still make a mark in this world by how you act, how you treat others, because will they will remember you as, oh, that person was a brave person, that person was so loving, so giving. And yeah, guys, just don't be lazy. Challenge yourself, and do things that make you uncomfortable, because that is how you grow, and that is where you learn the most about yourself, by putting yourself in those uncomfortable situations. And so yeah, guys, so thank you guys for watching this long video. Sorry it was so long, but I'm just thankful for to God for this life that I have. Even though it's been hard the past couple years, I've made friends, I've met some amazing people. I've been shown so much grace and love, and I'm just really thankful for all the people in my life, because that's what's most important to me, the people that love on me and show me so much grace. And yeah, guys, that's all I have for now. Thank you guys for watching this video again, and hope you guys have a great day, a great night. All right, bye guys.